Hi everyone, how are you today? Let's learn psychology with me. I will share my screen. Today we will learn another personality theory. It is social cognitive theory applications, conceptions, and contemporary developments. Hopefully that you will enjoy the lesson and that you can also reflect on your own life. Let's get started. Belief about the self and self schemas. What are schemas? Schemas are highly developed knowledge structures to make sense of stimuli. Highly developed knowledge structures to make sense of stimuli. What are self-schemas? Self-schemas are highly developed knowledge structures that contain knowledge of one's own personal qualities. Basically, self-schemas is schemas about our own personal qualities. If we have self-schemas, then we have lower reaction times. For example, if someone, let's say you have a hobby and your hobby is playing football. You play football, let's say every day. And then another person plays football once a week. When someone asks you, oh, how often do you play football? Do you play football often? Then, because you play football every day, you would just say yes. Every day is very often. Playing football every day. Not everybody plays football every day. You have lower reaction times compared to the other person who may have to think, oh, okay, well, I play football once a week. Perhaps it's not that often. You have lower reaction times to answer that you play football often because you play football every day. That's in your self-schema. Self-schemas motivate information processing. The information we search and conclusion we draw reflect our views to maintain our self-image. Two self-based motives that influence thinking. There are two of them, self-enhancement and self-verification. What is self-enhancement? Self-enhancement is a motive to maintain positive self-image. Motive to maintain positive self-image. What is self-verification? Self-verification is the motive to get information to confirm our self-concept. Basically, it's to confirm or verify our self-concept. For example, a self-identified introvert talked about staying at home reading books all weekend when he or she just met a new person, and this was to verify his or her sense of self. I will repeat it. There are two self-based motives that influence thinking. Self-enhancement is a motive to maintain positive self-image, and then self-verification, a motive to get information to confirm or verify our self-concept. We have more than one self-schema. Different self-schema is used in different settings, and they may be related to each other. Self-schemas influence our personality dynamics, thoughts, and feelings. Self-schemas reflect our thinking by drawing schema-relevant information and influencing how we interpret the situation. It means that when we experience something, we reflect back, we think about what we have in our knowledge, what we have experienced before. We are trying to find the schema relevant information that we already have in our brain because we want to interpret the situations. Learning versus performance goals. Here, it's about the learning or performance goals by Carol Dweck. When you learn something, when you're doing something, when you want to learn something, is your motivation basically to learn because you want to learn as much as possible, you enjoy the learning process, or because you want to be able to perform after you learn? You want to have, let's say, if you want to study for an exam, for a course, do you want to get a high grade? You want to graduate with flying colors? Those are the differences. When you learn something, do you want to really learn because of the sake of learning? You want to enjoy it, learn as much as possible, or because of the performance? You want to perform, you want to do well, you want to just pass the exam. It is, of course, more enjoyable if we learn something because we want to learn about it, because we're so excited to know what we're learning. For example, I'm taking this course in personality. I really want to learn why people have different personalities, what kind of theories are available in personalities. As you probably know that there are many theories about personalities: psychodynamic theories, social cognitive theory, construction, personal construct theories, and perhaps many other theories that I haven't learned. I want to know why people behave the way they do so that I know, for example, when people are angry without no reason, why are they angry? I want to know why. Perhaps they're actually stressed. When they're stressed, they may use a strategy. They use defense mechanisms. There are many kinds of defense mechanisms. It's really good to know what kind of defense mechanisms that they use so that we know, okay, they are stressed, they use these kind of defense mechanisms. I think it's really good to know about this because then we don't judge people by just the book, but we can understand them better. For me, when I learn psychology, I really want to know about the theories and, of course, about the practicality, how I can really apply these theories in life. Of course, I also want to get good grades, but the most important thing is that I want to learn and I also want to enjoy the learning process. How about you? Can you reflect on yourself? When you learn something new, do you learn it because you want to learn it, you enjoy the process of learning, or do you want to just perform? You want to have good grades, you want to pass the course. Let's move on. Actual self. Here we can see a mind map about actual self, ideal self, and odd self. Actual self is just the actual self. Ideal self is what we would like to reach. Odd self is what we should or ought to achieve. Sometimes self-discrepancies happen when there is a discrepancy between the actual self and the ideal self, then we may feel sad or dejected. On the other hand, when there is a discrepancy between the actual self and the old self, what we should or ought to achieve, then we experience agitation or anxiety. I will repeat this. Discrepancy between the actual self and the ideal self is feeling sad or dejected, while discrepancy between the actual self and the old self is the experience of agitation or anxiety. Let's talk about knowledge and appraisal's personality architecture, KAPA. Knowledge and appraisal's personality architecture. Knowledge. Enduring mental representations about oneself, others, and the world. Self-knowledge is our own mental representation about our own personal qualities and aspirations. Appraisals, ongoing evaluations of the relation between ourselves and the surrounding or upcoming environment. As you can see here in the diagram, knowledge and appraisals are systematically related. Knowledge structures affect appraisal process. The way we think about an event, appraisal, the way we appraise something, evaluate something, is affected by our beliefs, plans, memories stored in memory, knowledge. The way we think about an event, appraisal, is affected by our beliefs, plans, memories, and stored in memory, knowledge. Basically, our appraisal is affected by our knowledge. How we evaluate something is affected by our memory about our knowledge, what we know in the past, what we know now. Let's move on. This knowledge and appraisal's personality architecture, or KAPA, has a goal, which is to identify knowledge structures most significant to us and the appraisals we engage when thinking about challenges in life. KAPA assessment has two assessment principles. The first one is to assess knowledge and appraisals contextually. We identify our primary thoughts as we encounter varying contexts, for example, with friends, strangers, in our role as a parent or student, every day. The second one is that be sensitive to idiosyncrasy or peculiar behavior. Rather than doing brief personality questionnaires with a fixed of set items, KAPA assessments enable us to describe ourselves in our own words. KAPA, Knowledge and Appraisal's Personality Architecture, is an alternative strategy to study personality consistency. KAPA strategy has two ideas. Self-schema can produce consistency in personality. For example, if we say that, oh, I am fun, then we can say, oh, how do I describe that I am fun? Perhaps, well, I socialize a lot with people. I do enjoyable things. I have fun when I have some activities, for example, dancing and riding a bike or going outdoor. I also have fun by meeting new people. Here you can see that I have fun, I am fun, I have fun in my social life, I have fun in meeting new people. Basically, that's social life. And perhaps I can say I have fun in studying psychology. Then here we can see that I am fun. I have fun in one, social life, social interactions. Secondly, I have fun in studying. So here you can see different areas where I can say I'm fun. The second one is that patterns of cross-situational consistency may vary idiosyncratically. I'll repeat here. Kappa strategy has two ideas. One, self-schema can produce consistency in personality. And the second one is patterns of cross-situational consistency may vary idiosyncratically. That's it for today. Hopefully you enjoy the lesson and that you can learn something out of it. The best thing to learn about a lesson is to try to apply it into our life, reflect on it. How can we reflect these theories into our own lives? That way it will be easier to memorize and also to understand the theories better. Well, I hope you enjoy the lesson. I look forward to see you next time. See you and have a nice day.